Hey guys, this is Bayley, and you're on the Real News Talk channel. Right now, I am off TV for a bit to rest up and recuperate my body and mind, and to think of my next step with the company. Because despite all of what I've accomplished in the WWE, I feel that the company is somewhat holding me back, and it's been that way for a while. So I need to think long and hard to see if this is continuously worth it, or maybe venture to the competition where I could gain my creative control over my character and display the real me. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens next in the future. But don't get me wrong, I love WWE and respect everything they've given me throughout my tenure with the company. But at this stage of my career, where do I go from here? Retronic Ice Cat, you know what the fuck to
Yeah,
do.
that's right. You know what the fuck to do. So this is the Retro Kid Retronic Ice Cat on the Real News Talk channel. Back at you again with another video. This video that I'm going to be talking about today is why Bayley believes WWE keeps holding her back. You know, they have been holding her back somehow, because just as you thought that she would be gaining momentum and gaining the push that she deserved, somehow, some way, she gets pushed aside. She gets pushed aside. And I believe she's somehow underappreciated because she doesn't get enough respect as she should, even though she does get respect and people love her and that, but her work ethic is not really appreciated like that. Unlike Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Bayley doesn't get that same praise because out of the four horsewomen, she's the least praised one out of all of them, and she has worked the hardest out of all of them. She's the better wrestler out of the four horsewomen, in my opinion. Bayley is the better wrestler and the better athlete. She has good psychology in the ring, and she can go. She can go toe-to-toe with almost any woman on the roster or in the business because she's that damn good. Despite a few injuries that she's had over the years, she can still kill it. She can still pull it off like it's nothing. And I believe deep down, Bayley somehow is frustrated with the way WWE keeps playing with her. You know, despite her winning the 2024 Royal Rumble last year and gaining the momentum again and capturing the women's title for the first time in a long time, she deserved it 100%. It was her moment. All of a sudden, ever since she lost to Nia Jax at SummerSlam, her momentum has gone downhill. It's gone downhill badly. And I know she puts people over, which I respect her for that. You know, she's a very selfless person. She puts other people first before herself. You know, she thinks of herself less. And yeah, she even put Tiffany Stratton over too. And if Roxanne Perez and Bayley, you know, were to face each other at WrestleMania 41, which is now done and dusted, I believe she would have put Roxanne Perez over. She would have put her over, no doubt about it. Two generational talent going toe to toe in the ring. That would have been a banging match. But nope. They decided to take Bayley out of WrestleMania completely by potentially making Becky Lynch attack her from behind and capturing the tag belts with Lara Valkyria, only to lose it the next night, and took her anger out and frustration on Lara Valkyria, treating her as a punching bag. I believe that Becky Lynch is going to team with her husband Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman. I reckon she's going to be the next one to be added to Paul Heyman's collective. You know? So I could see Becky Lynch going down that route since she's a heel. It makes more sense adding her to that group anyway. But Bayley, she deserves better, man. She really does. Because Bayley's been in the business for 12 years now. And she's done a lot of amazing things. You know, and she's given back to the business. She's given a lot to the business. And I'm sure she's grateful for everything she's ever accomplished. And she's not the type of person to complain, but she has her reasons as to why the WWE is holding her back. You know? And that shouldn't be the case. And I'm a huge Bayley fan. She's one of my favorite wrestlers in the WWE. You know? Enough respect to Bayley. But anyway, let me get to the article. Bayley has seen the highest of highs in WWE after winning multiple women's titles. But many fans feel she hasn't been given the respect she deserves and often gets snubbed by WWE. In light of that, Bayley has now explained why she believes she is being held back by WWE. While speaking to Chris Van Vliet, Bayley talked about feeling like she's not getting the focus she wants. She's not featured in press conferences, posters, or talk shows, and she doesn't know what else she can do to get noticed more. See, that's the problem. You know, they put over the overrated people that don't need the attention for some strange reason. She said there's no drama or problems backstage since she has a good relationship with Triple H, Bruce Pritchard, and the talent team. She's always been respectful and professional, even when going to other wrestling shows to support her friends. They've had talks about what's okay and what's not, and she feels like there's mutual respect. Triple H has even praised her in press conferences, calling her the kind of superstar WWE wants, which she's grateful for, but it also makes her wonder what more she needs to do. She wants to do more, but you're holding her back. So how can she display more when you're keeping her off TV and holding her back? Come on, make it make sense. But this is what Bayley has to say. I don't get on the press conference. I don't get on the posters. I don't get to do the talk shows. I don't know what else to do. And it's not like there's an issue. There's no heat backstage or anything like that. Hunter and I have a really good relationship. Bruce and I have a really good relationship. All the TR. I have such a good relationship with them. And I've always been professional. Even when I've gone to other shows to support my friends. We've had those conversations of like the do's and the don'ts. And that was a little too much. We've had those conversations. So I think we are at a real respect level. Hannah has gone on a press conference being like, Bayley's this, Bayley's this. She's everything that you could possibly want out of a superstar, which I appreciate. But it's like, all right, well, what do I need to do to get me there? Exactly. What does she need to do if you're not delivering more of what she wants? When asked her how she doesn't take it personally, like being told she's going to win the Royal Rumble, doing all the celebration stuff, and then feeling stuck afterwards, she admitted it's hard. She thinks one reason she hasn't moved up more is that she doesn't walk in and demand things. She could say, I'm Bayley, I'm doing that, but she doesn't. So basically, she just goes with the flow. Yeah, it's like, it's hard. Sometimes I think that's what keeps me here at a lower level because I don't go freaking kick the door down and be like, I'm not doing that. Why would I do that? I'm fucking Bayley. Why would I do that? But I don't do it. Instead, she tries to do the best with what she's given. Something she learned from people like John Cena and Rey Mysterio. She brings her own ideas sometimes, but when they say no, she ends up feeling worse than if she had just accepted the original plan. So now she tries to decide, should she speak up and risk feeling worse? Or just take what they give her and do it so well that maybe they'll see it and change their minds. That's the problem. When they ask you to come with ideas and you give them that idea, oh, it's not good enough, and then they make you feel worse than you already feel about yourself. And it's kind of discouraging, you know what I'm saying? And it makes you not bother. And you're like, you know what? I might as well just go with the flow, because no matter what I say or do or what ideas I have, it's never going to be good enough anyway, and they'll never appreciate it. So I might as well just do what I'm told, really and truly. So that's the position Bayley's in, which is sad because, in a way, WWE is showing favoritism, pushing the same old people like the Rhea Ripleys and all of that. Even though Bayley's been there for a very long time, and she's been there longer than people like Rhea Ripley, but Bayley still deserves more. A former Grand Slam champion. Come on, man. Come on. Bayley doesn't deserve this type of shit. Bayley continues. I've learned from Cena and Ray, whatever they give you, it's like, make it work. So that's always what I've tried to do. And I will come up with ideas and pitches. And I've learned that sometimes if you get told what the creative is and you're not happy with it, and I go and say, hey, what if we do this instead? And they say no, I feel worse after that than I did with the original creative. So I'm like, okay, how bad do I want to feel today? Or should I accept what they give me and make it the best I can? And then they're like, damn, she made it work. Let's go this way instead. It is to be noted that Bayley was pulled from her scheduled WrestleMania 41 tag match at the last minute after being attacked backstage by Becky Lynch, as Becky Lynch replaced her as Lara Vicaria's tag team partner. Triple H already told fans not to worry about Bayley and called her a pro, saying, don't worry, guys. Bayley will be fine. True pro. Cannot say enough good things about her. True pro. For many fans, that reassurance isn't quite enough, especially since Bayley remains one of WWE's most reliable and talented performers, often without getting the spotlight she deserves. Therefore, we'll have to see if WWE has major plans for her once she returns to television. Well, they better have plans for Bayley, because right now, from what I'm hearing, WWE is treating her like shit at this point. You went from giving her a Royal Rumble win and making her win the belt at WrestleMania to not knowing what to do with her, or making her become an afterthought. And that's a slap in the face to Bayley, because Bayley, she works just as hard, if not harder, than any of the female in the locker room. And she gives back to the business and she does what she's told. All for what? Think about that, man. Now Bayley just going to be off TV for a while, doing nothing really. She might do other things, but other than that, we're not going to see her for a while. Maybe for the next couple of months or so. Then after Becky Lynch feuds with Lara Valkyria, she makes a surprise. She might come back at the next pay-per-view, who knows? But eventually she will come back. But the scary thing is, how are they going to use her? How is she going to come back from all of this? Because the disrespect is becoming too much. It's like they're not directly disrespecting her, but it's more of an indirect thing. That's the way I see it. They're indirectly disrespecting Bayley, and they're not acknowledging her enough. Because I'm sure if it was some next female wrestler, they'll just request for their release, or they'll just go to the promotion, the opposition, where their friends are, and just compete there. You know what I mean? Instead of being somewhere where they're not really appreciated deep down. But Bayley is a loyal person. And that's why she's still with the WWE, or else she would have just requested for a release or just weigh out her contract until it expires and then join Mercedes Moné in AEW. But the more I think about it, if she were to go to AEW, Tony Khan would have gave her more creative control and she would have been more herself. That way, we could get to see the real Bayley, you know? But I know she wouldn't be called Bayley. She'd probably be called Pamela Rose or something like that. Or Pamela Martinez, one of those ones. But she's definitely ain't going to be called Bayley if she were to go to AEW. They'll definitely give her what she wants. That's for sure. But she hasn't made that move, and she's still with the WWE as we speak. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens with Bayley over the next few months, because I believe deep down she's growing tired of how the company's treating her. She's getting really pissed off deep down, but she's just hiding it. Deep down inside, she's really, really pissed off with the WWE. But at the same time, she's grateful for what she has accomplished and what they've given her. But it's not enough. WWE, you need to do better than that. Or else you could potentially lose Bayley somewhere down the road. Because a person can only take so much before they reach a boiling point and be like, you know what? Fuck this, I'm out of it. I might as well go elsewhere. Why am I going to stay somewhere where I'm not appreciated? You know? Where I could be happy elsewhere and just finish off my career in another company and then call it a day. So WWE better take note and think about all the good things that Bayley has given you. You know, because coming back from a knee injury is no joke. Where she injured her knee due to a freak accident while she was training in 2021. Coming back from a knee injury a year later, forming a group called Damage Control with Io Sky and Dakota Kai. That was a big achievement. And her heel run was pretty decent and pretty good, you know? The way she was interacting with the fans, calling them idiots and stuff, even shouting at the kids too. I mean, you know, she really went in with her heel character. So the WWE needs to fix up and give Bayley her flowers, or else she might lose her. That's all I'm saying. So this is the Retro Kid, Retronica Scout on the Raw News Talk channel. I got nothing more to say. Bayley, keep your head up and things will work out, hopefully, when you return. This is your time to recuperate and recharge yourself so you can come back stronger than ever. But if you're not happy where you're at, then maybe you should consider moving to AEW. Despite the position that AEW is in, your happiness is what matters most. Hence why your best friend Mercedes Moné left WWE and is now in AEW and also working indie shows as well. And she seems a lot more happier mentally, physically, and spiritually. She seems way more happier than she was in the WWE, because the WWE is not the end all be all. You know, you could be in a smaller company and be really happy within yourself, and your mental health will be intact. So whatever's best for you, I support you all the way, 100%, because you do deserve happiness and the respect. So that's all I gotta say. I'm out. Peace.